Hello everyone, Amradorn here, and welcome back to Civilization 6, where I am playing as Kublai Khan of Mongolia. And as we did with the last episode, I'm going to do basically a voiceover for this, because this is another one of the episodes where I forgot to have the sound on while I was recording. So, at this point in the episode, or in the playthrough, I am preparing for my war against Rome. Nuremberg has switched from Germany to Rome as a city, and I am in the process of moving my forces into position so that I can attack Rome from the south. We're also working on building up, this new continent over here where we've got going on. There's a +4 gold there for our port, so I think that works out pretty well. It's going to take a while for us to finish that one, but it'll work out in the end. Yeah, and here's where I basically don't realize how my unique units work for Kublai Khan of Mongolia. Because I moved that one right next to a pikeman. Yep, that was bad. Like how much damage he takes, from that one attack. It was terrible. I did get him out of the way, though. So that was good, at least. But we've started to take over the Gobi Desert and to put some cities over there on Rodinia, which is good. Because it means we're slowly making our way over to the other continent and, being able to control things. A Kermit would put in for a bank because we don't have a whole lot going on there. And then we decide to set up for a dam. Okay, so we've got 35 turns for the Colosseum. It looks like Petra has 18. Still trying to build those. Lots of faith going on right there around that wonder. God of the Forge. And I think at this point I'm starting to think about what kind of, whether or not I should start looking at setting up some religious units to start spreading the Astroland faith. That is a ship that is trying to head home. Got a worker up here or a builder up here who is going to start taking care of some stuff around the new city up here, this provincial city. Trade route. Yep, I go all the way to Buenos Aires. That is a long way for that unit. There's a Roman bombard down there by Buenos Aires. That explains where he came from. Alright, no great people there that I can really afford at that point. And so with my workers, I try to look for resource tiles that have not been utilized yet and try to get those first, and then I start looking at things like setting up farms and stuff like that in random tiles. The Karelian River. Yeah. See, England is asking me to join the war against Korea, and I'm not interested. Because I have my own war in mind. Yepers. See, he's friendly with me right now, which is probably not the best thing to be doing. I think I ended up having to get a policy or something that was allowed me to finally declare war on him. Promotion available. I still don't think he survives. And there we go. And I probably should have waited on this, because at this point I was just gaining era score for no good reason. Because I don't really... I'm at 172 of 157. Which I'm just in the process of making it more difficult for what I need next era. Okay. It's going to be important that I not fall into a dark age. If I fall into a dark age, things are going to get tough. And it's going to be difficult for me to swing out of that. Although I will say that once this game is finished, I think I will be satisfied enough, as long as I win this one, I will be satisfied enough that I can up the difficulty level on myself again and try to start doing some playthroughs at the next level. I'm not quite to the point where I feel like I'm good at playing the game to hit deity level, but we are slowly working our way up to those higher difficulties. Renaissance era is going to end in 8 turns at this point, which is good. There's the Alhambra that was built in Ravenna. See, I'd like to be able to just take out Rome and take all their cities. They are in the industrial era too. They are, I believe, the ones that are closest to me in tech. I think they're actually slightly ahead of me, which is kind of scary. England and Korea have definitely more science than I do per turn, so I have a feeling they are also going to be very tough to take on later in the game. Because at that point, I'm probably going to be looking at flight and maybe tanks, maybe World War II era type technology for taking them on. So we might end up having a D-Day against England or Korea. Honestly, though, I think probably my best bet for them is to come in to take Stockholm and then move down through England. And at that point, I should be able to see where Korea is at and possibly start planning to take them on. So I think England is going to be the first target I take out on that continent. The question really is, after Rome is finished, the question is going to be, do I finish off Germany, Netherlands, and Spain before I go over there? Because if I take out those other 3 civs, I've essentially got the game at that point. Once you have like a whole continent to yourself, domination victory against you is pretty unlikely. Now, definitely science, religion, and some of the other victories are totally a possibility. And we need to be careful that we're not focusing solely on the one. I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more with religion and trying to spread my faith out to the other lands a little bit more. Once I get the continent to myself, though, I might be able to get ahead in science. It would be kind of cool to do a science victory. But I'm really not sure where all that's going to play out. It really kind of depends. It does look like Rome is starting to lose control of Nuremberg at that point. And I'm going through and just deciding, Ulaanbaatar has some pretty decent production for it, so I think I end up putting a whole bunch of musketmen there and start doing some building up with that. Yep, there we go. It is 1362 AD at this point. Okay, we got the bombard and the siege tower making its way down towards Aquila. We have my units over here. I think I'm just double checking to make sure I haven't missed anything. Got a trade route. What are we doing? And I think. Okay, do we start it there? I think we end up going to Madrid because we know we're going to war with Rome at that point. I'm going to heal him up, preferably. There is another flood mitigated. Got another worker. I think I should probably start looking at engineers too, so I can start building my own roads. And then railroads. We're going to need railroads once we get steam power. That's going to be very important. Okay, our Renaissance era ends in one turn. We got a settler being built in 2 turns down in Aksu. I really need to work on the pronunciation of my cities and stuff. Okay. Yep, and there's where I entered the industrial area and hit the golden age, which I was pretty happy with. Yep, there we go. Skyscrapers. Okay, so it looks like I wanted to continue to work on wonders. And I was the only one to enter a golden age. Korea and Poland and Spain all went into dark ages. Everybody else was in normal ages, and I think I did 2 arms. I'm not sure I used that Casus Bell properly. So I took the 2 arms because I knew I was going to go to war. I picked up the Enlightenment next and started promoting folks. Okay, So I need 212 era score in order to get to a normal age. So here is where I denounced Rome. Okay. And I don't think I used that cast a spell. I took that feature specifically for that. Okay, Poland didn't like me at this point, which granted, I'm planning to go to war. I think I also met everybody at this point too. So we're doing pretty good there. Let's see. The frontier is holding. Doing okay. We got our units that are starting to move towards the Roman territory. There we go. Of course, Rome has also got open borders to us, so that didn't help. Because I think if you attack a civ that has open borders with you, I think the grievance is the worst. We have a settler built. We're getting ready to build medieval walls in Aksu so that we can expand there. We got a builder in Kerma. So they are looking around, seeing what we can move it to. Looks like an open plain there. I think this is where I start kind of filling in the gaps. So 1 minute she hates us, and the next minute she likes us. It's kind of a well, don't know what's going on there. Yep, see here I move my forces up. And I think he gets mad because I set my forces up. I mean, it's just the military units. That volcano near Ostia looks like it's probably gone off a few times. And see, here's Nuremberg pretty much switching back, or working on switching back to Germany. Yeah, see, he gets mad. So I go ahead and declare war. I did not use the cast a spell. Probably should have. I don't know what the grievance difference is. Should probably look into that. That's kind of a play mistake. If I want to get better as I go along, I really need to look at that and make sure that I'm doing this right. Major victory. Yeah, see, Aquila doesn't have walls. Getting the bombard in place. Musketmen crossing the river. 15 declarations of war. See, everybody who is suzerain with me pretty much declared war on Rome and the anything that was suzerain with them, which I don't know who that is. Should probably look at my city-state list. Got a farm put together there. And here's the Netherlands to announce to me, which gives me a Casa spell against them. Fortunately for them, I don't have a second army put together that can make its way up there. I'm really looking forward to being able to make corps and armies pretty soon. Hey, and there's Petra being finished. Petra is a brilliant display of man's artistry in turning barren rock into majestic wonder. There we go. Welcome to Petra. Should try to build Petra in Minecraft. Irial. There's a new city there. Yeah, see, there's where I start looking at filling in some of the gaps around my cities, or in between my cities, and filling out my content or my home territory. I'm at 178 of 212 era score at this point. Salmancia looks like it's trying to rebel against Spain and possibly go with the Netherlands. I don't think that happens. Here we go trading with The Hague, which makes her happy with me again. Alright, Aquila. So we bombard Aquila with the Bombard, which does a massive amount of damage. Got some ranged attacks there and there, which gets them very close to being capturable. I believe we get them in the next turn. See, now she's happy with us. And now she's angry with us. Really kind of a whiplash there with the friendship. Alright, so we fire off the Bombard, which gets him down pretty close. And then I think we just take the city. There we go. One city that's ours. And here we are fighting against Rome. We decided to keep the city. The plan is to keep most of the cities. I think Nuremberg is the only one that I really kind of wavered on. And I do end up giving the city back to Germany. Okay, here I am planning out some production for my new city that used to be Rome. And I'm getting denounced by Korea. She's not happy with me at all. Honestly, it is what it is. It's not like I'm super excited about them either, because they could be pretty powerful once I get over there. I'm actually pretty concerned about Korea and England. But the Roman Empire has had a decent run, and really it's about time that it comes to an end. We got some work to do, though, because we're not going to finish. We're not going to destroy Rome in a day. All right, so we got our siege tower up there. Not sure how useful that siege tower is going to be after we get out of the industrial area. Flight is just going to change warfare completely. The next step is going to be whether or not we use atomics. Alright, so we defeat the emergency declaration against us, which is good. Lots of votes against it, which I think was the best outcome I could get. There's a eureka moment there. We're going to head up here and get some sheep and some salt. Some sheet. I suppose if we take wool, we can make sheet. Get some linen. It's a bombard. Oh, it's not. Oh. Back and forth here. This is kind of that awkward moment that you have after you've taken a city and you're trying to plan out the best route to the next one. Okay, capitalism, nuclear program, suffrage. So I'm kind of looking at future texts to see where certain governments lie. Because I'm still a monarchy at this point. I haven't really, and I have been for a long time. Singapore. And there's the discovery of ballistics, which is going to give us field cannons. Although I haven't started switching any units over to field cannons as of yet. Should probably do that pretty soon. I think one of the reasons why I don't is because field cannons have issues with range. I need to double check that during my next recording session. Okay, so we're moving up towards Nuremberg at this point because that is going to be my next target. And here's where I levy the military of Singapore, which is the first time that I levy the military of anybody. Singapore's forces really gave me a good lock there on seeing what I could do with that. Okay. I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to get forces in place This is where the Roman bombard finds itself running around in my homeland, and probably not a good place for it. I'm at 181 of 212 era score at this point. 12 turns to the Colosseum. 8 declarations of war. Yeah, I think a city-state turned against me at this point. Anti-Navarro turned against me. It became suzerain with Rome, and they turned against me. Those guys are not in my own territory, so I can't upgrade them. I really want to, but I can't. Okay, we get across the river, the Oder River, the Oder, and start making our way to Nuremberg. Ostia, I believe, is my next target after that. Ostia does have walls. Alright, so that Roman bombard is getting itself pretty much destroyed for accidentally running around in my territory. I don't think that was the best option for it. It was kind of at a position when the war was declared, which was kind of good for me. Yeah, I suppose. I think this is where I made another mistake. Yep. I don't have any units over there in Rodinia in order to try to pacify what's going on up there. Okay, now start doing an encampment in Tilburg. I believe the one of the things that happened during the World College or Congress was that specialty districts act as a culture bomb for me, or at least some of them do. So I got to keep that in mind and see if I can't build up a bunch of those. Now, for as small as Nuremberg is, it is able to withstand quite a bit of punishment. Okay, pikemen moving up. Here's where I'm trying to use the forces that I picked up from Singapore to my advantage in attacking Nuremberg. I do have some complications with range at this point. And I believe this is where the bombard dies. Yep. One less bombard. Ew. That Keschleg there took a beating from Nuremberg. We're going to do a promotion, though, to help things out. There we go. The hard part really is just trying to find enough, to get units in range enough to be able to do some sort of attack with. Yeah, so there I team up with the siege tower with that musketman. Just trying to get forces moved in and situated so that we can use them in our conflict. These guys here are really just going to be too late to get up to Nuremberg to be of use. I think, if I remember correctly, they proved to be definitely more useful during the siege of Ostia. Withering drought in a city-state that is not near me, which is good. There's the Gobi Desert. Okay. Doing lots of attacks where we can. Our defenses are going strong, and then we attack into a major victory there. I believe our knight can do a major victory as well. Nuremberg is basically surrounded at this point. And so I start moving forces towards Ostia to be of some use up there. Ulaanbaatar makes its first musketeer, so we start moving it towards the front. Okay, there is a trade route there with a city-state. I'm not sure who it is, though. I mean, at this point, it really looks like Nuremberg is pretty much done. And there it goes. Alright, so now we move on to Ostia. Start getting units in place. We do some upgrades on some stuff. I even upgrade some stuff that isn't mine. It belongs to the city-state. That way, it is more useful to me. And here's where I liberate the city and give it to Nuremberg. Now, it looks like it's going to go into rebellion, but I think by the time things settle down, we're good. Ostia was in the process of building a wonder. We get the Apentine Mountains backing up Ostia that basically creates a bottleneck for us as we move into Roman territory from that direction. It's also going to be concerning to me as to whether or not Ostia tries to rebel and become part of Germany. If that's the case, I'm not sure how I'm going to react to that. There is a German settler there, which is probably going to be heading south towards me. Yeah, the bombard does some pretty serious damage to Ostia. And we're going to pull up siege tactics. Of course, it did cost me money and resources to upgrade Singapore's forces. It's just kind of the way of things, you know. If you want to use them. Looks like you got a Spanish apostle running around in Rome right now. There goes the bombard firing at Ostia again, which pretty much levels it. And then we get to take the city. So there we have taken Ostia. We've liberated Nuremberg, which should put Germany happy with us. We do have units moving in towards Rome. It looks like they have the Oracle. I think Rome itself is going to be my next target. If I can take out that, their empire should start to crumble. But taking Rome itself is going to be very difficult, especially with the encampments that are near the city walls, and the mountains that are going to create a bottleneck for forces coming in from that direction. There really isn't a whole lot of options there that really make that more accessible. But I think with that, we are out of time for this episode. We are over time, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button down below. And if you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, you guys have a good one. Goodbye.